This week, the jury saw these wedding photos of Vallow and Chad Daybell taken just weeks after the death of Chad's wife, Tammy, in 2019. The couple is smiling. They're on the beach in Hawaii. Chad is playing the ukulele. Lori does a Hawaiian dance. The beach getaway happening 2 months after police say Lori's children, Tylee and JJ, were murdered. Also this week, the jury is hearing about Lori's Google searches, Chad's as well, and some cell phone data, some digital evidence. Criminal defense attorney and NewsNation legal contributor Sara Azari with us to talk more about the testimony underway at this hour. Sara, thank you for being here. First of all, the timing of the Hawaii trip was not lost on anyone when it happened in 2019. I still remember seeing the headlines and the photos. How is the jury going to reconcile what was happening in her life? Her children were missing. Her husband's ex-wife had just been killed. The jury's seeing her smile. They're laughing. They're dancing on the beach. Tough moment for the defense on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a tough trial for the defense, Marni. I think that when you're looking at this and you know it's a circumstantial case, she's not just charged with murder, but a conspiracy to murder, which sort of broadens her, the universe of culpability for her. And all of these overt acts in the indictment, you're starting to see that the prosecution is very effectively and methodically sort of layer by layer, laying the bricks towards guilt. You know, with respect to this forensic testimony, it was so incredibly important because it was foundational. And the jury, apparently, according to reports from inside the courtroom, was taking meticulous notes, checking off all the boxes, so much so that the judge had to let them go early so that they could really process and take this all in. I think that the Google data was terrible. It places Alex, who really is the one with blood on his hands, who is Lori's brother and warrior, does her murdering and her dirty bidding, places Alex both at Chad's property, which is not an overt act, but also at Lori's property on very critical days, which is one of the overt acts. I think the other issue, I think what the defense could argue here, I'm thinking as a defense attorney, is that Lori's searches are not so bad. There's benign explanations for those. The idea that she is obsessed with her love affair with Chad, that, you know, while Chad is sort of telegraphing the murder of Tammy, Lori is moving her kids to Idaho. She's looking for elementary schools for them. I mean, that's a good fact for the defense. If she had any plans to kill them, she wouldn't be looking for schools for them. You know, the wedding rings, the wedding dress, that just shows that she is so taken in by Chad. And the defense is going to argue she was under his spell. There was this cult manipulation that took place here. I think the problem, Marni, is that she's also been a cult leader. You know, some of her friends testified that she sort of took the mantle and was soliciting them to join this doomsday cult. So I think it's really problematic for the defense if you take this in the totality.
Right. Really interesting points there. I want to play for folks a piece of the audio clip from testimony this week talking about some of the digital evidence you're referring to. The second witness, Nicole Heidemann of the FBI, reviewed the Google searches. Again, these are Chad Daybell's Gmail Google searches on Lori's account. And listen to what she found. This is one of his internet searches.
September 8th, 2019. SSW wind. What is the definition of SSW direction?
What about that stood out?
That date is the day prior to, or the day of, that we believe Tylee Ryan was murdered, and we believe she was buried on the property, or burned and buried on the property on September 9th, 2019, so it would have been the day prior.
So, Sara, this may be more damning for Chad Daybell's murder trial, which is set to take place in a few months, than it might be for Lori's.
Exactly. But again, she's a conspirator, right? So that's how they're tying her in. But yeah, I mean, we heard about this wind direction a few days ago, last week, and I thought, you know, well, what's up with that wind direction, right? There's a lot of that in this trial. Things come up, and you're wondering what's the relevance, and then 2 days later, it all sort of, you know, it glues in together as this one big 10,000 piece puzzle. And that was really one thing that came out yesterday was how Chad was tied in with the children's death. I think what was interesting is the 15 or so burner phones, right? You're a journalist, I'm a lawyer, we might have multiple phones for different reasons, but burner phones that are not registered to us, that are sort of pay as you go, I mean, they are the biggest red flags of crimes and cover-ups, and there's a lot of burner phones. And so, you know, of course, the defense is going to argue she was covering up a love affair, and, you know, Chad was covering up murderous intent.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.